Today I have a Sony TCWE405. This is a double auto-reverse cassette deck. So 2 decks, auto-reverse on both sides, and it doesn't work. Tapes are stuck inside. It's dead. Well, it's not dead. It turns on, but it doesn't do anything. It's not the belts. I've been told that the belts have already been replaced, and it doesn't work. Motors spin. It just doesn't operate. I have a good idea what's wrong with this because I think we may have seen this problem before on others. Let's plug this one in and see what the problem is. I tell you, sometimes when you're having to deal with businesses and you're having to phone in about things, it can waste a lot of time. I had to make a couple phone calls today to businesses for just dealing with things. And while I was put on hold, I heard some very familiar music. This track in particular. Yes, it's Music Bakery. I recognized it as soon as it came on. I said, hey, I know that song. Let's plug this tape deck in. Oh, isn't that nice sounding? So, I need to get my cassette down because there's cassettes in here, but it is not opening. Either side is not opening. This one came in for repair, and yeah, it just kind of goes in fast forward. And how about the other deck? Oh, deck B goes into fast forward regardless of which one I push. Something's wrong with this. Let's pull it apart and take a look and see what's going on. Yeah, hearing music for on hold that I've got in my library, I found that impressive. And I was actually phoning TELUS to bitch at them about my bill creep. Everybody knows that feeling, right? All of a sudden your bill goes up. In my case, they said they did an audit, and the audit showed that I was getting a discount that I was not entitled to. I'm an employee, so I get a discount, but the discount that we get, everyone thinks, oh, you're getting a good discount. I mean, we get 40% off, but we get 40% off on the full retail price, so it's really not that great a deal after all the smoke clears, because we're paying more than we are paying more than new customers that get promo rates. I'll tell you that much right now. But my bill went up by like $45. And I'm looking at it saying, well, I got my home phone and they took my discount away off of it. It's like, what? $32 a month for a home phone? I'm going to dump it. I need it for my alarm system. My alarm system dials out on the home phone, so I need it for my alarm system, but I could go with Fongo or Rogers or anybody else and get home phone for, $5 or $6 a month. So I phoned to see whether they could fix that issue, which was resolved. That one was resolved. But anyway, and I dumped some TV package. I had channels that what have I got these for? So I dumped a bunch of channels. I basically dumped the HBO channels, which I'd watched back in the day when shows like Game of Thrones were on, but I'm trying to remember the last time I actually watched anything on it. I think, I'm paying $26 a month before my discount, but I'm still paying $26 a month for a handful of channels that I can't remember the last time I watched anything. And then with the recent channel shuffle with Rogers pulling a number of their channels away and replacing them with other channels, I figured, it's time to just cut things back a bit. But that is not an easy process, as anybody who has ever done it knows. You're dealing with loyalty and retention, and you're dealing with agents, and it was a couple of hours wasted. I got a $25 bill credit though for my time wasted on the phone, so that was rather a pleasant surprise. I wasn't expecting that, but I got it. Okay, this one, let's see what it is doing. So when I turn it on, I see that The flywheels are turning, but it doesn't appear to be doing anything else. And the control motor doesn't appear to be, like this control motor here is supposed to spin a little gear and operate the mechanism, and the control motor does not appear to be controlling anything. This motor here on the front, it's what activates the mechanism. Quite often a little gear cracks on here too, and that causes issues. But let's just see whether this motor even tries to do anything. Can we see it on camera? Yes, I do believe that's probably where the problem is. You see that little pendulum trying to move, but it's not. I wonder if it's a cracked gear and it's not giving it enough torque. But there's where our issue is. It's in here somewhere. I'm just going to see, I'm going to put something down there to see if I can stop that from turning and just see how much torque there is, because I have a sneaking suspicion that that's where the problem is right on this little gear here. Does it have torque? Will it kick my screwdriver off when I press a button here, or do nothing? Well, it appears to be turning, but I think it might be slipping. I can feel it, but I don't feel much torque. I get a feeling that this motor might be slipping. Let's pull the mechanism out and see whether that's the problem. Look, the Stoned Temple Pilots, Nirvana, Megadeth, White Combi, Dremis, Red Hot Chili Peppers. This is what's in there. 9 Inch Nails. Tragically Hip. That looks to be a pre-recorded tape, and the label is worn off on the other side. Oh well, that's what was in it. Had to get those open in order to, I think I gotta pull these. Got to pull these covers off. I forget what I gotta do. I gotta pull the mechanism out anyway, so I had to get them open just so that I can lift the mechanism out from the back. And I think maybe I'm premature at predicting this, but I have a sneaking suspicion that I'm going to be scaling back my operations here quite a bit. Not that I want to, but I have a sneaking suspicion that a lot of my workload is going to dry up. This is local. I mean, for the local customers and customers in Canada, nothing is going to change, but a fair bit of my work comes from viewers and clients in the United States, and with the recent administrative change down there and the threats of tariffs coming to fruition, it's looking like it's going to become extremely expensive for American customers to consider repairing their stuff. If the tariffs of 25% for items crossing the border comes to fruition, I can see Canada putting in counter tariffs. So basically the customer will be paying, if it's 25% each way, the customer would be paying an extra 50%. I can't see anybody actually going through with that, paying the shipping plus paying import duties and export duties to send something in for repair. So I may not be doing many more repairs that are heading in from the States or heading back to the States because of that. Cut that tie down here. Now this should, I think, lift out. I've got the screws out from the bottom. I think is there any more screws on this front here? I can't tell. I can't remember. I think they're all out now. I should be able to just lift this back. It's open. Oh, you know what? I gotta pull these. I gotta pull these off because the cassette compartments come out with it. But yeah, that's where I stand now with the whole tariff thing. Is that if they're going to charge tariffs, then I may not be doing much repairs for people on the other side of the border. See, the thing I find hilarious about the whole tariff thing is that some people just don't get it, but it's not the country that pays, right? It's not like, for example, tariffs put on steel and aluminum that have been added so far, with more to come apparently, according to President Musk, the guy that's really running the show. It's not the businesses that pay it, right? It's not the exporters that pay it. No. It's the importers that pay it. And like, for example, if you were a business, for example, if you're buying widgets, yeah, let's make things more electronic wise. Let's say you were selling cassette decks. Let's say cassette decks. Even though they don't make them anymore, but let's just pretend for a minute that cassette decks were still a thing. And you were buying cassette decks, and those cassette decks cost you $100. That'd be a pretty cheap cassette deck, but let's say $100 to keep things nice and simple. So a cassette deck cost you $100, and you sold it for $150. Your markup on it brought the price up to $150. And that's a pretty good profit margin, you know. But now you've got to pay a 25% import tariff on it. So now that costs $125. Are you going to still sell it for $150? Nope. No. Now you're going to mark it up. You're going to sell it for $175 or $200. And who's going to pay? Who's going to pay that money? Well, your customer's going to pay the money that you're selling it to, because that's just the way it works. Wonderful design this thing is, isn't it? I might not even need to get this. I might not even need to take these decks out, but I do want to. I want to get to this gear here. These machines were certainly not designed with service in mind. That's for sure. This is a 1997, so it's 27 years old. This one. 29th of September, 1997. Okay. There is the chassis out now that I can look for the cracked gear, because this is what usually happens on it, is this gear here. This gear here cracks. Is it cracked? Let's see. Let's get a close-up and see whether it's cracked. I bet it is. Can you see it? Can you see that crack? I certainly can. It's about 10 o'clock. It's right there. Right there. It'll turn it to 12 o'clock. Anyway, this gear has a crack in it. You can see it right there. Right there. So what's happening on this is this gear, this is what controls the mechanism. So this is a solenoid-less design. This is the control motor. Everything's done by cams that are on the main flywheels. And in below here, you can see the cam gears right there. These big gears here. This is what controls everything. But how it's operated is this little pendulum arm here. Where are we here? This one flips back and forth. And this motor kicks on and drives this one way or the other, which turns that gear down here. That you can't see because my thumb's in the way. Where are we here? Down here. That's what turns that. And when this has a crack in it, like it does, the shaft inside slips. And when the shaft inside slips, it's not going to transfer torque. That's the problem, is that little gear is broken. And it breaks on all of these units. And the reason it breaks is because plastic shrinks on the metal shaft. You can see the crack right there. So what we need to do is we need to try to glue that. The problem is your standard crazy glue will not, or cider on acrylic glue will not bond metal to nylon. That's the problem. What I'm curious is whether the UV cured glue might work, because I've never had any luck using crazy glue type. They just don't bond to nylon. I've got myself some Bondic, which is a glue that it cures with UV light. It's really expensive. Like, I paid, what did I pay for this stuff? I just bought it at Canadian Tire. 29 bucks. 29 bucks for this thing. Is what it cost, and the refill's like 15. But we'll see. We'll see if this stuff works. So I'm going to read the directions. I think you just put it on and shine the light on it. It works kind of like the crap that the dentists use now to fill teeth. They shine a blue light on it. So basically, it says sand the surfaces. Great. And fill and layer, cure, file and sand and shape. Okay, well, this might not work as well as we would hope, because how am I going to sand the metal? But we'll see what we can do on this. Clean it at least anyway. So I'll clean off the surface here with some alcohol. Make sure that there's no oil or grease around here where I need to fill. And I'll pop off the actual gear here itself. I wonder if I can maybe grind down or sand or score or something inside here to give it a place. I mean, the light has to hit it, right? You got to get the light in there to hit it in order for it to work. But maybe you put some gouges or something in here, scratch it a bit. Can't really sand it because I can't get anything in there to sand it with. But we'll try to give it a surface that it can at least try to. The light probably will penetrate this white plastic. That's what I'm thinking. I mean, the light that activates it, the glue is in here in the end, and you get a refill for it. The refill just comes out like that. So this is the light source, and I'm sure I got to probably turn it on. Oh, is that how I do it? There, squeeze it like that. Okay, turn it on. That's what you do. You use a blue light, and that is what that's what cures it. A UV light. It's basically just a button cell, a 3-volt button cell that you squeeze to make the connection. You squeeze it like that, and it has a switch to lock it on if you want to lock it on and run it for a longer period. It actually uses 2 lithium cells put together. They're 2016, and there's 2 of them to produce 6 volts for this. I don't know whether I should dim the lights in here to work on this. I know the dentist works on your teeth. He uses a yellow light. I don't know if there's enough blue light here to cause it to start to cure without light, because I'm using full spectrum light. So maybe what I'll do is I'll dim the lights down a bit. Never look directly into the LED. No kidding. It's UV. It says never look directly into the LED light or direct the LED into the eye. It can cause permanent eye damage. It says only use the LED for a maximum of 10 seconds at a minimum 25 inches from the eyes. It says the LED belongs to risk group 1 blue light. I'm going to dim some of the bright lights here, and we're going to apply this and see whether this will fix it. And fingers crossed it will, because I know regular crazy glue won't, and the epoxy doesn't get it. It stays too rubbery. So hopefully this will bond and it'll work. All right, I've turned off the daylight lights, and we're going to work under just the regular, just a single LED. put the piece back on and push it into position. Get the crack up onto the top here, and we'll proceed to undo the cap. It's kind of like a gel, so we'll put some around here onto the end. Cap back on, and then we'll take the LED, and I'm going to squeeze it and point it at here and let it cure. Actually, I'm going to lock it on. So I'll throw the switch on to lock it on, and then we'll just take it in there and point it at the glue and cure it. They say it only takes 3 or 4 seconds, but I'm sure putting it on for longer is not going to hurt. Now the question is this stuff hard or is it still liquid? It feels really hard. It's not liquid. Well, I guess we're going to try this and see if it works. Because what that does is that spins and turns the cam and kicks it. It only kicks it. It doesn't turn it far. It just has to kick it to make it engage, and then the regular motor takes over. But this stuff, this might be a winner. This might be a wiener, as they say. It's funny that the store has said they're not carrying it anymore. They've discontinued it. So we'll try it out and see what it does. But it looks like it's bonded. So let's turn the lights back on, and we'll throw this back together and see if it has fixed the problem. See if it'll work. That'd be great if it does. If it does hold this, it'll be fantastic. Oh, yo. It sounds like it might be going to work. That's music to my ears. That is music to my ears. That means that it is working. Cool. Let me just put some more screws in here and we'll test it and see whether we got any sound. Got to put this little shield back in here. This is to shield the, I guess this is to shield the audio circuits from, hum from the transformer and stuff. Yeah, I've unplugged it. Duh. So we'll put this down here and throw a few more screws in. And see what it does. Looking up though. It's certainly looking a lot better now than it did when I started on it before spending $30 on a tube of glue, which I certainly will be charging a little more to cover the cost of the glue, because that stuff is expensive, and yes, I'll be able to use it on more than one thing, but at the same time it's also only good for 12 months from the time it's manufactured. I don't know how long it's been sitting on the shelf, so chances are it will go out, I'll run out pretty quick, and there's not much in it. Alright, throw a few more screws in the bottom and we'll test it. Alright, moment of truth. Is it going to work? Yes, it is. How about reverse? So that deck works. Let's try the other deck. It'll work too. If one works, the other's going to work because it's basically the same mechanism, right? And I don't know what I had here for Dolby. I don't know what I forgot. Dolby D, I think. It means the head's clean. That's working. Let's try fast forward rewind. It's rewinding. Try the other deck, rewind. And it's going down. And forward. Reverse play. Forward play. Yeah, I do believe this one's fixed. That was an easy one. Now we know. One thing for sure, it holds. It's working because the crazy glue doesn't work. Crazy glue doesn't hold. It just slips. So yeah, that's good news. If this stuff works, I'm going to try it on a few more things, and I have a few things to work on. I have a VCR that came in that's going to require a repair to a one of the motors, the load motor for the lifting the tape. We'll try this on there. Bondic it's called. It's yeah, this looks to be maybe the cat's ass, as they say. Anyway, before I go, I know you guys will never let me live this down if I don't actually show me cleaning the heads on here and the pinch rollers. So to clean the pinch roller and the caps, well, I'm not going to do the pinch rollers, they like fun, but the capstans, we got to get them to turn, put a tape in the opposite deck and hit play or something to turn on the motors, because then the capstan shaft will work, because it's a single motor that drives both of these. And then we can just get in there with the Q-tip and clean off the capstan shafts. I've already done the other side. I mean, normally I probably wouldn't even bother to show this to you guys because, I mean, come on, it's cleaning heads. Anybody can do this. But as you can see, there was a fair bit of dirt on here, so it's clean now. Just to keep you guys happy that would come on and say, why didn't you clean the heads? Well, I always clean the heads. I don't always show it on camera, but then when I don't show it, I get all the people out there that seem to think I didn't do the job, and they'll get critical. So I gotta show you cleaning the heads, just because I gotta show you cleaning the heads. Put that one in there and put his other tapes back in. These are his tapes that were in it. And I think that one's at the beginning, or is it that one's at the end? I think. Just reverse it. Don't know what this is, so I don't want to let it play. Anyway, this one's done. Thanks for watching. We'll catch you in the next one. Bye.